Hello there. So my name is Latoya of Immortal Astrology, and today I'm going to talk with you about the new moon in Pisces and what this Pisces moon is all about. So my mission is to help you understand, of course, this Pisces moon, and so that it's easier to acknowledge how far you've come, even though you might feel you haven't reached your ideal. So that will make a little bit more sense as I go into this talk and dissect what this moon is about. So that you know where we're going with this talk is we're going to first discuss the new moon in Pisces and transits that are happening around this day, and then I'll close this talk with the chakra wisdom oracle cards that I have here. And then if you are a patron, you will receive your individualized reading, and that's where you'll have insight on what this new moon in Pisces is revealing or highlighting for you, specifically based off of your birth chart. And then I will give you insight using tarot as well as your chart, how to navigate this change or new beginning that is happening in your life. So if you are interested in that and you want more, mentorship, that you don't have to show up for a call, definitely consider becoming a patron because you will receive 2 monthly readings every month. So yeah, just consider that if you're interested in that. All right, so this new moon happens on Wednesday, March 10th at 4 a.m. Central. So if you are, somewhere else, Pacific or, Eastern time, do your time zone thing. But yeah, so here we have the new moon in Pisces. And so that's where we have that sun and moon conjunction. And then let's see if I can, there's my arrow. I was like looking for it. Sun and moon conjunction. And then we have the other planets that I will talk about. If they are, doing anything special. So yeah, so with the new moon at 20 degrees Pisces in 16 minutes. So if you have any mutable placements near this degree, you will also feel this moon. It doesn't have to be specifically Pisces. Um, it could be Gemini. It could be Virgo or Sagittarius, because these are all mutable signs, and the moon would be squaring or in opposition, which are very challenging aspects to your placements if you have any mutable placements at 20 degrees and 16 minutes. So that's something to be aware of. Oh, and then if you do any kind of magical work, and if you want to wake up at 4 in the morning, this is a very potent time to use for this new moon. Set your intentions. But you can also, I specifically use the day of the new moon and then the hour of the planet that I want to speak to. And that, of course, is based off of my own chart. And yeah, so you would have to know what planet was ruling a specific house if you're wanting help with a certain thing. So I think like in this example with Pisces, I would look to Jupiter for help and whatever planet is in Pisces as well. And it's like for me, it'd be Saturn. And if you want to use asteroids, you could do that too. But I don't have any idea of like what like herbs or etc. candles, etc. that would speak to, like for example, Juno. But anyways, getting kind of off on the details. But yeah, so you would want to consider, you could start your intentions at 4 a.m. Or if you are like me and you want to use your chart more specifically, you'll look for the hour of the planet that you want to speak to and start, your work then, and using their things or their items that represents them. So that's something to consider if you're wanting to utilize this new moon in a very powerful way. So, what does this new moon mean? So, new moons in general is about embracing the unknown, accepting a new beginning, and setting an intention. So, no matter what, a beginning is happening during the new moon. And, you could be ready for it, you could not be ready for it, you can be conscious of it, you cannot be conscious of it. But because you're watching this video, you want to be aware of it. You want to know what's going on and how you can utilize that. So, that's good. And so with it being in Pisces, embracing the unknown could be around, around this time you might be grieving. You might need to grieve to release something you've been carrying for a while. And literally right now, I am in the process of grieving and was considering, not doing this talk because I just feel just so sad right now because recently I just had, I have a day job and some really important people in my life and that workspace is leaving, and so that makes me feel very sad. It definitely triggers my abandonment issues that I have that I've been carrying for since a child. um it makes me nervous because I'm like, I feel like it's going to be really chaotic even more because these are very people that were my anchors. And it also revealed to me that I I didn't know I was so emotionally like dependent on these people to be there and to perform and do their things that they are naturally good at. And so it just has really opened this up to me, brought this to my awareness. And so I'm kind of like in this space of like anger and like, oh no, what am I going to do? But I'm happy for them. Very complex. And that's, that Pisces, energy. You can see that with the two fishes here. It's just, it's the emotions going in circles, duality, feeling like could be feeling like you're spiraling. And it's just like really making you face the unknown, like what is going to happen? It's that I'm going through that process right now. But after going through that and after embracing that and just acknowledging like, okay, yeah, here's I'm facing the unknown, we can move into accepting a new beginning and moving forward. So what that could look like for me is just kind of like, yeah, just accepting like, okay, this is what it is. I am, you know I was doing fine with them. I was doing fine without them, even before this job. During this job, it's okay. I always move forward. And then with this too, like if you are feeling stuck in the grief, just remembering, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to release and just feel it, and remember, that origin of pain, as well too, and just continue to let that release because um it's a healing opportunity, even though it's rough, it's hard, it's uncomfortable. But it helps you move along in the process of acceptance, and or get to acceptance of the situation. And from there, we're able to move forward with much more grace and understanding and empathy when other people are going through their own grieving process. We'll have that, space that deeper understanding because we've been there. I know like several other people are dealing with breakups, the people have been together for years and suddenly they're breaking up and they're having to go through this process. And so your coworker is leaving, or breakups happening when you're on this mood, accepting, going through that grieving process and releasing and accepting that there is a new beginning. It's really important around this new moon in Pisces. And I know like we have like I feel like we have a lot of memes now that shows that Pisces isn't just rainbows and sunshines and mermaids. um the Pisces definitely have this darker side to it, because it deals with the emotions, it deals with the bigger scheme of life, and sometimes that can feel very overwhelming, and like you're out of control and you're just this small little fish in this big ocean, and it could feel again overwhelming. But there is this beauty in it because you can also understand where you fit in the big scheme of things, and also see how, yeah, you're just a part of everything and we're all one. And so there is that beautiful side, but also that very overwhelming side. But we have to feel that duality, again, those two fishes to come to a greater understanding of our space and who we are and where we wanted to go. So then once we get to that place of accepting of a new beginning, we cried, we grieved, we release the thought of like, this is where we're going, the big dreams, like, oh, life is gonna look like this with this person, and now suddenly they're gone. We go through those that moments of grief, and now accepting that you're here, we can set an intention to create a life that is in our mind's eye. So that we might have a new vision with this new moon in Pisces, because now we have new information, new experiences that has revealed itself that no, that what you imagined in the past is no longer a thing anymore. Now we need to think and dream up something new. And that is another beautiful thing about Pisces too, is that they have this dreamy and visionary quality to it that kind of keeps the hope in life, even though there could be that feeling of deep sadness and grief because of what you hoped and dreamed of in the past didn't come to fruition. Okay. So Pisces, these are some kind of words that we can meditate on during the new moon in Pisces. So yes, again, dreams and perception, changing our perception on things, holding space for that, compassion for ourselves, realizing that we are creative and create new things, new realities, new ideas, new dreams, and just constantly engaging in that expansive quality that Pisces can provide. And so we all have Pisces in our chart, even if you don't have your sun in Pisces, moon in Pisces, whatever. Pisces is somewhere in your chart. And so therefore it rules a specific area of life. If you're a Leo rising, it rules your eighth house of sudden changes, of crisis, of shared resources, of your spouse's money. So this is where you'll be engaging with that Pisces energy. We're also can be dealing with vacillation, going back and forth on things, confusion, deception. It could be intentional deception from other people, or you deceiving yourself. So we want to ask ourselves, what am I deceiving myself of? Like what am I tricking myself into believing? And is this actually helpful in where I want to go? Is this like the reality of things? Because again, well, Saturn is in Pisces too currently, and getting closer to Neptune is so imagination and reality is starting to blend. It's starting to merge together, and we're not able to discern what is true and what is false, or what is true and what has yet to become true. And so these are good things to ask ourselves during the new moon in Pisces. It's like, what do I want to believe in? What do I want to see in my reality? And how can I step into it with authority and not lean on wishful thinking, I guess is kind of like what I'm seeing here. But Pisces is a mutable water feminine sign, so it's very introspective, it's emotional, it's changeable. So um, we will also be going through these feelings and going back and forth, and we are in Pisces season too. So we can think about how are we engaging with the weather of this time. Literally right now, it is cold, and yesterday it was super warm, super warm. Past 3 days it was warm, and now today it's suddenly cold. And that's that mutable quality. It's that back and forth, warm, cold. I haven't made a decision yet. So we can see um how are we feeling with that. For me, I woke up and I was just kind of like super irritated, because I'm just kind of like, I guess I'm the type of person that's just like, make a decision, and then let's do that. And this back and forth, whether it doesn't, it feels like it hasn't made a decision yet. And so it deeply irritates me. And I'm just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? Do I have my sweater on, or I put just a shirt? I don't know what's happening. And so, if you just notice these little, your little attitudes about season, the weather during yeah, the zodiac season, you will know, okay, this is how I engage with Pisces energy or that sign's energy. This is where I can bring some healing or compassion or acceptance, you know, in this space. So, yeah, just think about that and like how are you engaging with the weather, the environment around you during Pisces season, and you might glean some understanding of how you engage with Pisces. And so here are some questions that you could think about as well, to kind of think, during Pisces season and make use of this season, to the best of your abilities. So, how can I begin to trust in my creative process to live my ideal? And so, again, with Pisces being very creative, the creative process is not linear, it's cyclical. And so, there's a time for action and there's a time for rest. There's a time for optimism and there's a time for grief. There's a time with you're believing in yourself and you think this is the greatest thing ever, and then there's this time of doubt. And what the like, we'll say what the heck am I doing? That is like the duality of it. That is part of the creative process, and still showing up, still moving forward, still looking for the signs, looking for the messages from divinity, and moving forward is really important. Constant movement. And again, that mutable energy cannot stand still, has to, you know, we have to engage in that and continue. And so we can just kind of ask ourselves, how can I trust in this more? How can I continue to move forward as if I believe this what I dream of and what I want is going to happen, even though the environment is going back and forth, or things are changing in ways that I don't really want them to, or I wasn't expecting them to. It's something to think about. How can I continue to trust in that, or begin to trust in my process of moving forward and creating the life that I want? And the next question is, what do I believe is possible to achieve my 2024 big goal? So again, like during Sagittarius season last year, we were dreaming of what we can do for 2024. And then Capricorn season, we were planning out our, actions of what is the best effective way of doing it based off of the resources we have. Aquarius season, we thought about the community that we are engaging with and how can we contribute. And now we're in Pisces season. How can I think bigger? What do I believe is possible? How is all involved in my vision so that we're better together? So this is something that we could think about. And then just being mindful of when you do not take accountability of your dreams. It's all on you, especially with Saturn and Pisces. Um, you got to put in the work every day, even if it's 5 minutes. You just have to. It's special. Your energy is special, and you contributing to that dream is really needed and necessary to make it happen. Because we can have the vision in our heads, and that's the thing too about Pisces is like it can dream all day, it can think about things all day and not do something about it. And that's where that, getting stuck in the grief and the confusion happens, because you're not including divinity into the plan. As soon as you put the plan out there and you start working with it, the environment and divine and all that, divine timing, everything can also contribute to the dream, and it's not all just in your head or wherever you're channeling things from. So yeah, taking accountability, putting your energy into it, blocking time, 5 minutes, 2 hours, whatever your capacity is to create, to put time towards something that you're wanting for your life. I think it's really important so that you're not, just kind of dreaming your life away. You're actually building the life that you want to live on your days off, on the weekends, the nights you can't sleep, all of this. So here are some other things to be aware of during Pisces season. So again, we had that Venus conjunct Mars. So we had that, right? So that was February 22nd. So that was like a love bomb going on and getting inspired maybe about something and wanting to take action on it. And then literally today, I didn't realize that. Today, we're having the Kazemi. I'm like, I recorded, I'm recording this. Yeah, it is today. I didn't realize that. That's interesting. I didn't look at my charts this morning. But today, as I record this, February 28th, we have the Mercury Kazemi in Pisces, and it's conjunct Saturn. So, yeah, we're having new thoughts here, new ideas, new information that we're having to deal with. Um, we have to think about, how we're wanting to work this plan and perform here based off of the information we've received that has kind of revealing itself. Now I'm kind of like thinking about my experience that I've had, and I'm like, oh, I guess this is like my Mercury Kazemi. Um, hmm. And so during this time, hopefully if you kept a journal, you want to look at what ideas that you've gathered around this time, um, because this is something that you're working on and moving forward with. And I guess like for me, it's my abandonment issues. I think that's kind of like what I'm having to review and making sure that it's not informing my dreams, informing like what I want out of life, like my abandonment issues isn't getting in my way. So I guess that's kind of like what I get to work through. Um, sometimes it can look like that, you know. Good stretch. Hmm. All right. So other transits to be aware of. So during this new moon in Pisces, we have, of course, the sun conjunct the moon, creating the new moon, and that, it's just a revealing a new cycle, a new emotional cycle, a new awareness of how you're feeling about things. And yeah, it just marks the beginning. You're starting a new cycle here. And then we have the moon that's separating from Uranus and Taurus. So that is here. And yes, that can be some unexpected changes. That could be unexpected changes that are beneficial, that can bring opportunity for growth in the direction of your values. And so, again, with the moon having the upper hand here, we really want to understand what is it, our dreams, and kind of really feel into that, and making sure our body and our emotions, or our physical body is like in alignment with that. And again, thinking about the new moon, the full moon in Virgo talk, I had talked about asking your body how it feels about things. So is should I do this or that? And you ask, and you listen to your body's response to these questions. And so it makes me think about, yeah, with these sudden changes, it could bring about an opportunity for growth in the direction of your values. And so being aware what your actual values are. I know for me, one of them is comfort, but the other is empowerment and amusement. So how can I, and so I guess the questions I would ask myself is like, how can I um, make fun of this change, that's going through? Or how can I seek comfort? How can I self-soothe, as I'm going through this breathing process? Or, how can I empower myself, during this time of change and sudden, news that I experience? So these are kind of things that we could think about. And the moon will be applying a conjunction to Neptune. So, that is a planet of divinity, of understanding of your connectedness to everything and all things and otherworldly things. Um, It can also be confusion and illusions and delusions, and so we are really having to navigate this really big picture kind of planet, while in this big picture sign. But this is also a really creative and I want to say juicy configuration going on. And so we would probably be channeling some really beautiful insights and just deeper understanding of how where you're okay. What you're going through, it's okay. And um, although it could feel beautifully tragic, especially with the moon separating with Saturn and Saturn being in Pisces, um, it's still what your experience is okay. If you're grieving, it's okay. If you're having a good time, it's okay. If you are wanting to make art, it's okay. If you're wanting to lay around and eat chocolate, it's okay. Whatever it is, like I kind of just see like Neptune is just like just acceptance. And we just want to be careful that we don't fall into misuse of imagination and thinking that where we are is worse than it really is. So just being mindful of that balance and how to helpfully use it. Maybe we should just paint or draw or listen to music or just hang out with a friend that is very nebulous and dreamy, and that would help kind of alleviate any kind of misuse of imagination. And then a ruler of this moon is Jupiter, and it's hanging out in Taurus still at 12 degrees, and it's getting closer to a conjunction to Uranus. And so this can be again that element of unexpected changes or just kind of like disruption or disruption of values, disruption on um, what you're caring for and what you're wanting. Because Taurus, materials, money, and in relation to your Pisces house and like what you're dreaming of and what you're wanting, in the bigger scheme of things and what you're believing is possible for yourself. So it's Jupiter, again being the planet of belief, it gives its qualities over to Pisces or its resources to Pisces too. We're like juggling these keywords here. And then we have the Sun sextile Uranus, and that's a really creative aspect. The sun being representing our sense of importance and the things that we are bringing our attention to or putting a light on. Sextile Uranus, the planet of innovation and a rebellion and breaking the status quo. So we might be really breaking our status quo here in our creativity, our sense of importance of what we're wanting to do, how we're shining in the world. So being again open to trying new things would be important with this moon, because we're having to answer um, to Uranus as well. Mercury in Aries, sextile Pluto, is very revealing. Mercury in Aries. Oh, here we are. Mercury in Aries, sextile Pluto, and early Aquarius. Yeah, it's very revealing. Pluto being the planet of the underworld, unearthing something, and especially with Pluto having the upper hand, we're just kind of dealing with maybe power dynamics issues, and Mercury being the communicator is we might get some information here. We might have to go straight to the stuff that is hidden and reveal it for ourselves. But I feel like with Pluto having the upper hand, we might have to still be quiet about it. Like we can't really announce it to everyone. That's kind of like the thought I'm having here. It's kind of like Pluto is like, I have a secret, but Mercury, you can't tell the world about it, at least not yet. Um, that's kind of like what I'm seeing right now. And then the last planet I want to talk about, Venus will ingress. Oh, so this is March 10th. So that's on during the the new moon. And then the sun sextile Uranus is March 9th, and it's the dates. And then March 11th, Venus will ingress into Pisces, and she is exalted here. So she is very happy in Pisces. She loves to share and beautify things, and wants to unify anything there, and Pisces is all about that. But then of course Saturn also still being in Pisces, Saturn is a very drying planet, and so it wants to separate, it wants to categorize, it wants to compartmentalize things. And so Venus will have some difficulties as she's going through Pisces, but there's still some unification. There might just be discernment on what you're unifying. Um and yeah, it's just like, how are you going about that? It's going to be really important. Let me see, I didn't get the date. So she will be in Pisces. Okay, this is text messages are flowing through, so it's kind of distracting. So Venus will be in Pisces until March 11th till April 4th. So we need to discern what we're unifying. It's kind of like what I'm seeing there. All right, so that's all the transits that I wanted to share there. So this new moon, to wrap up this talk, is good for embracing the unknown around our griefs and what we are losing or what our perceived losses. Accepting a new beginning to move forward no matter what. Okay, so this is after we've gone through our grief. And we can't force a timeline on that. We grieve in the way that we need to grieve. And to do this without judgment is important. And then the last thing that this moon is good for is setting an intention to creating a life you see in your mind's eye. Okay, so we're coming up with a new vision and believing in it, and seeing that this is good too, is really important. So let's see what oracle card that we can that will reveal the chakra that we can work on during the new moon in Pisces, if you're into that. Be into chakra work. I like it's kind of weird. I like working with the chakras. It just kind of helps center back into my body. And yeah, because being a Gemini person, I kind of get stuck in the clouds sometimes. So, or just like what I'm thinking about. Wow, that's 3 cards. Okay. All right, so we got the root chakra, acceptance. So focusing on the roots, accepting where you are, saying it's okay that we are here. This is beautiful that we are here. This is fine that we are here. Could be tragic, but it's still beautiful. It's still worthy of being accepted and acknowledged, because this is the human experience. Every day is not rainbows and sunshine, you know. The next card is talks about the throat chakra, so vanity. So what I'm getting here is making sure that we are not speaking um vain things in our life. Like, these things that we're wanting um needs to come from a meaningful place, a place where it's true to you and your nature, not to just impress whoever's around you, because it's baseless. So that's what I'm getting there. So focusing on the root and the throat chakra right now. What words are you speaking into your life? And is it your words, or is it just kind of like regurgitating? And then the last card is the sacral chakra, orange. And so that has to do with perseverance. This card said perseverance. And again, that's like moving forward no matter what. And so that, she's kind of like grieving here. Looks like she's grieving in this photo, in this card. But this angel, or this like divinely figure, is saying it's okay, we can continue to move forward. And it kind of looks like butterfly. Her skirt or something that she has over her scarf is coming off, but it kind of like, so you think of wings. And that is coming off, and the divine figure is like, oh, that it's okay, you can still fly. That is just coming off of you. Like, you're still fine, you're still able to move forward. And And that's the sacral chakra. So that has to do with belief and your sense of self and belonging and connection to the divine feminine, and that you are worthy of of love and creativity and the creative flow and just like how everything is moving along. So if you want to eat more red, orange, and blue foods, that will be helpful in waking up these chakras that we have, these energy centers that we have, get them moving again. Wearing red, blue, or orange colors during the new moon will be helpful in strengthening these chakras. If you notice that these are weak or are not, flowing well. And so, like the root chakra, if you're having trouble with that, if it's feeling blocked, that's kind of like feeling like you don't belong, feeling insecure. Um, the sacral could be um, doing too much, not trusting in the universe is supporting you and giving to you. And then the throat could be, if that's blocked, it could be not speaking up about what you believe or oversharing um, to to please other people when really it's not authentic to you. So these are things to think about with this new moon in Pisces. And again, if you are wanting to get your rising sign reading, so this is an individualized reading where you get some insight on what the future moons are highlighting for you. Consider becoming a patron, because you'll get that insight, that monthly mentorship from me, and it will just make it really it will make it easier for you to navigate life, because you have an outside perspective. Like, I'm not in your business all the time. It's just gonna, I'm pulling cards for you. I'm seeing what's going on in your chart, and letting you know, like, okay, this is what's coming up. Might be something you need to consider, because maybe you didn't see it in this way, and this could be a block that is preventing you from achieving your 2024 goal. So if you're interested in that, definitely consider becoming a patron with the link below. And yeah, that's all I have for you. And I hope that you have a wonderful new moon in Pisces, and I will see you next time. Bye.